So, Inelia, now it's a couple of weeks later. There's something else as well which might be useful to address, because in the interview you talked about parallel timelines, about different alternative realities, that to some degree we have a choice about what to experience. And right now things are very confusing because there's a lot of information. You get prophecies and predictions and visions and dreams and people thinking, oh my God, this is going to happen and that's going to happen, and people have been told things by astral beings and ETs, and then these things don't happen. And what does this mean? What advice can you give to anyone who's worried about what it is that they have been told will happen or might happen?
There's an aspect of that that's really interesting, because when the information is given out, collectively we choose to agree on it or not agree on it. So the first thing I would say would be not to agree on it.
What would you say to people who've watched everything so far and they just cannot believe what you're saying? They can't believe that you're real because there's so much stuff out there that isn't real or that is delusional, and they're thinking, you know what, I'm just going to move on to something else because this is crazy stuff.
I would like to acknowledge that reality, and I think you've taken the perfect path, which is to go and look somewhere else, because I am not real to you and I will never be real to you. And I agree, you're absolutely right.
Or you may become real when they watch it a second time.
Perhaps. And then the reality will be shifted.
Okay. And I know that there's something else that you wanted to mention too. This is the possibility that there's a misunderstanding, that people are kind of thinking that you're some kind of a miracle worker who waves your magic wand and fixes things, and you can take orders and fix things for people, and that you make decisions about what to do and what not to do and so on and so forth. And there's a whole clarification about that it might be useful for you to underline.
Yes, I never choose who I work with. That comes through my higher self or divine intervention or whatever you want to call it, right? But basically what I'm concentrating on is the collective. So if you do feel that I have something that I can offer you, you can go into my website and there's stuff there, there's a ton of information, exercises and things you can do. But I'm not working with people individually anymore, because this is a different time. It's not about what Inelia can do for you. It's about you stepping up to the call. You know, this is a call of action, and that's why I agreed to do this interview, and saying, how can I, as a viewer, how can I step up and help on this work, right? Where's your joy? Where's your passion? Follow it.
So you're not a fixer, you're a catalyst, right?
Yes, a catalyst. That would be a good word for it. A catalyst. And you can become the catalyst, you see. It's just, how do you do it, right? And it's about that. It's about raising your own personal vibration, and you will become a catalyst yourself.
So we can all be each other's catalysts.
Absolutely.
And this is the potential synergy that's there.
Oh yes.
Because it's a problem, isn't it, that people are always looking for someone to rescue them, to do something for them, to save them, to lift them out of this. They're waiting for a rapture, they're waiting for God to help them or the ETs to help them. And the last thing you want is for you to step into this role, because that's not what you're here for.
I'm not going to do it. And one of the things is that that's not the person's fault, because that's the way that the program has been downloaded, so that the elite can have absolute control, right? Because then you disempower a person so much that they don't realize they can help themselves, you see. But they can, every individual can do it. Every individual can not only be a catalyst for their own life, but for everybody else around them too.
So this sounds like one of your most important messages. Anyone has access to what you have been gifted to have access to. That no one needs anyone's permission to start work and start fixing things. No one even needs to be organized, or no one needs to wait for somebody to say, okay, this is the starting gun, let's go. You're just
Right.
encouraging people to empower themselves and to get on with whatever it is that they came here for.
Absolutely, yes. And another point here is that we all came in with all these abilities, right? And through programming and through our upbringing, cultural situation or whatever, we've lost it on the way. I've lost several of my abilities myself. And I personally have to work on either getting them back or finding out why not, right?
So it's all there, and if something's been lost, it hasn't really been lost. It's been temporarily mislaid, and all you've got to do is find it again.
That's right, yeah. You have to find it again. However, the important aspect about all these things is that it's not about moving chairs across the room. It's not about reading people's minds. It's not about healing the sick. It's about your own growth in awareness and higher vibration, that you can make yourself vibrate the highest that you possibly can. And these things will come in, right? All of a sudden, people will start feeling better near you, and all of a sudden you'll be able to do and be able to be more efficient through these skills in raising the vibration of the planet or making it a better world, which is another way of saying it. But if you go out and become obsessed with moving a table across the room, that's not, I mean, maybe, yes, possibly, and there's people who can do it. You'll be able to do it eventually. But how does that help? You know, you could have just stood up and grabbed the table and moved it across the room. How is that going to help the planet, right?
For me, quite a good analogy is in Star Wars. There's so much truth in that wonderful movie, and you have little Yoda who has all these powers, and he shows Luke how he can lift his craft out of the swamp with his abilities to remotely levitate it. But that's not what the movie's about. The movie is about the power of the Force, and the movie is about how to defeat the dark side and how to recover one's own abilities to harness them with others in order to defeat the Empire.
Absolutely,
so to speak.
yes.
And it's not about the magic tricks.
No, it's not about the magic tricks.
The magic tricks are fun, and they're a side effect, and they're absolutely not important.
Not important, no.
And for anyone who's remotely interested, behind the camera here, I, as Bill Ryan, I can't do any magic tricks whatsoever, but that doesn't matter. I can still be a fully fledged participant in this transformational process, and all I need to do is operate a camera, and that's...
That's exactly. You don't need special powers to click, you know, record.
I can do it. I can do it with my own hands. I don't need to do it with my thought.
Exactly.
Exactly. Is there anything else that you want to say as a final message to the people watching this? There'll be more videos to come. There'll be more information. There'll be personal presentations. Are you going to be giving any workshops, conferences?
Possibly, yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
So this isn't going to be the last that people are going to see of you.
No, no.
That's something for us to look forward to. My sense here, if I can share my personal thoughts about this, is that this is an exciting journey that's just starting. And I encourage anyone who's watching this who has that sense also, that this is an exciting journey that's just starting. Even if it may have felt to you personally that it started maybe a few years ago, it's still just starting. There's a lot of work to do, there's a lot of people to share this journey with, and there's a lot of fun to be had, and a lot of important work to do.
Yes, it is. And it's not just about what's going to happen in the next 2-3 years, and it's not about all the disasters that are happening around the planet. It's not about that. It's what happens afterwards, you know?
It's what happens afterwards.
Yeah.
And it would be quite all right with you if there were no disasters whatsoever.
Absolutely. Let's agree on that one.
We're living in a strange time, working for a strange goal. We're living in a strange time, we're working for a strange goal. We're turning flesh and body into soul.